Hello and welcome back, internet friends. Today we're going to be talking about the South Korean sensation that has taken the world by storm, Squid Game. No, wait, that isn't right. I see. No, today we're talking about Lost Ark. Lost Ark has been available for a while now, but in the West it released February 11th on Steam, and it has seen moderate success. It had the most concurrent players of any game on Steam ever except for PUBG, but they don't count because Battle Royale players are dead inside, and I can say that because I've played way too much Warzone and Apex Legends. So I guess the question is, why? Well, it's not the riveting story, I can tell you that. And the story isn't bad, it's typical MMO fare. It seems that only Final Fantasy XIV swings for the fences these days. No, I'd argue a lot of the success Lost Ark seems to be finding has to do with the timing of its Western release and the fact that it's free to play. There are two main types of people that are absolutely falling in love with Lost Ark: MMO enthusiasts and ARPG fans. I like to think I'm of the latter camp, as I hopped off the WoW train a good deal earlier than most. No real reason, I just wasn't having the fun that I remembered from my college days of raiding Gruul's Lair. That's not to say that traditional MMOs are in a great spot. They aren't. People have been leaving WoW in droves since Battle for Azeroth. I'm not really an authority on why that is, but there's plenty of YouTubers out there who can give you a better answer as to why the exodus is happening. The other side of the coin is not nearly as dire. While it is tempting to see Diablo 4 push back to continue being a distant speck on the horizon, and think ARPGs are just as few as far between as good non-Final Fantasy MMOs, it's actually less of the case. We have Diablo 3 for starters, which is far from dead. There are tons of players that turn up each season to grind through the set of challenges, and while the third entry of Torchlight wasn't as well received as the first two, it's still fun. And of course, I can't forget Grim Dawn, probably the best of the lot, although I am biased as I owe pretty much all of my small but loving Twitch community to this game. The one thing these games lack, and the one thing that Lost Ark provides that they don't, is permanence. You can and should sink dozens to hundreds of hours into playthroughs of Grim Dawn and its amazing DLC, but at the end of the day it's a single-player experience and sadly must someday end. The persistent MMO world that houses Lost Ark provides you with an assurance that when you reach max level and start clearing the harder dungeons with friends, that you'll have a place to celebrate and people to celebrate with. This video isn't meant to be a full-on review, although I plan to make one of those, so make sure you're subscribed to not miss that. It's meant to briefly touch on why I think all of your friends are playing Lost Ark, and maybe you should too. So are people just playing Lost Ark because they're burnt out of their respective MMOs and our ARPGs? Well, that might be true for some, but mostly I expect it's because it's fun as hell. As my friend Carl the Berserker put it, quote, "The combat just feels good. It's easily the best class fantasy feeling. When I pop Berserker Rage, it feels like hell is charging behind me," end quote. That's the hype I had going into this game, and now that I've put some hours into it, I can say he honestly didn't oversell it. Quite the opposite. The action and combat feel amazing and weighty, and don't even get me started on the combat depth. The way you can alter every single ability in one of three ways makes me almost feel that while I'm not playing wrong, there really is no such thing, I'm probably not being 100% efficient. There's some deficiency in my skill build or skill rotation or placement that someone, maybe me or maybe even you, will figure out to push my class that much further. As such, Lost Ark has the skill ceiling of a MOBA or fighting game with combos and positioning, the depth of an amazing RPG, with the ability to tailor each ability to fit your idea of how your character should fight, and the guilds, raids, and persistent world of an MMO. I think it's safe to say that Lost Ark's popularity hasn't even come close to peaking. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to leveling my ult. Until next time, I have been Septimus of the Grim Alliance, and you have been an amazing audience. I thank you.